Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Journey to Islam, and I'm your host, Brother Noah Seifullah. This episode, we talk about hip-hop. Just like the religion of Islam, hip-hop also represents the truth, where you have real artists of all backgrounds, different cultures, telling true stories about life on the street, to living some of the most expensive, lavish lifestyles that you can ever imagine, to kicking knowledge that is so profound and complex that it could be taught in universities and colleges all around the world. Today we talk to two talented artists in hip-hop, Brother Shaka Jihad and Brother Kumasi, and we find out what was their journey to Islam. Shaka Jihad, how you doing today?
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah.
Love you for the sake of Allah, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you here.
I'm here.
So
Yes,
let me
sir.
just start off by just asking, what was your route to Islam? What's the background on it?
Well, my initial journey started with the seed in my mother's womb. I was born in 1971, and my mother was 15 years old when I was conceived. So I came up at a time of worldwide revolution. Brothers was rising up in Africa. Brothers here in these northern woods, brothers and sisters in these northern woods was coming into that black power movement, that red, black, and green. The teachings of the nation was prevalent.
The Nation of Islam. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I have an uncle that's been in prison for 4 decades, Free Ali. But he introduced my mother to the teachings, and she introduced him to me. You know, my mother woke me up for Salah when I was 4 years old, 5 years old.
So it started early, real
Early.
Okay.
Early, but at the same time, by us as a ummah not having those functions in our society where Islam can be nourished and taught, and you know, I fell victim to whatever else was going on in the 80s when I started coming up amidst the mass incarceration and the new Jim Crow and the chemical warfare, Reaganomics. You know, I grew up in all that when they put crack in the hood, 9mm Glocks and crack rocks and dope fiends on everybody's street. So I was diverted. Technically, I was diverted, but we all know by the grace and mercy of Allah, nothing happens for vain sport and play. So, you know, I entered into a realm into my life that most ghetto bastards do in this part of the land that was raised by single mothers in these poverty-stricken conditions in the ghetto. You know what I mean? So I went through some of them same trials and tribulations.
So being raised as a single, from a single mother, it just puts you in certain situations
Immediately,
naturally.
certain natural and unnatural situations from the giddy up. Because a 17, 18, 19-year-old mother with a man-child as her first seed and no father there, subconsciously in her mind and subconsciously in my mind, I immediately become the man in her life, right? And so that's not a natural circumstance. You have to be taught to do and learn and to know certain things. And my mother did a good job, very spirited. She taught me Islam.
All right, so your mother was the first one to kind of introduce the religion into your life.
Right.
Yeah. So one of the first things she taught you
was Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Kul Hu Allahu Ahad. Say Allah is one God. Right? Teaching me wudu, and I remember myself being agitated for having to put water in my nose. How ironic that is now.
You said she used to wake you up for Fajr.
Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And so, like I said, I got caught up in the 80s doing different things, overwhelmed with hormones and the social dynamics of living in the city in America. Y'all know how that go. And I started going through other things. So I really became conscious of my shahada. What happened is I ended up getting shot in 1995.
Okay.
And when I was shot in 1995, I was laying on the ground waiting for the ambulance or the police or something. And I remember something that one of my comrades, my G's, my teachers taught me, and he had been killed at this time. But he taught me, if you ever got shot in these streets, don't go to sleep, don't give up.
Yeah.
And I was in the process of going to sleep because I was just tired. And I really remembered that, and I yelled Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar rolled off my tongue, and I hadn't said that since I've been 9, 10 years old. And I went to the hospital. When I got out of the hospital, I could remember really consciously trying to make salat, trying to remember the remnants, because it had been so long. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heard my call. Within another 2-3 months, I was in prison, Calipatria State Prison, doing a 9-year joke. And that's where I became conscious of my Islam. And started on the process of tafakahu for deen, getting a firm understanding of the religion, like Allah says in Surah 9, Ayah 122. So,
is that where you took your shahada?
Yes. Well, that's where I reinstated my shahada. I took my shahada as a child. Like I say, my mother was exposed to information early on about the nation, about al-Islam. Had a Quran from Masjid Sharif, 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was just about me translating my belief into action. And that's what prison allowed me the opportunity to do.
Would you say the prison kind of helped you solidify the religion?
Prison facilitated the whole process by the grace and mercy of Allah, similar to Pharaoh being raised, subhanAllah, to Musa alayhi salam being raised in Pharaoh's house. You see what I'm saying? The prison had an impact on me where I was able to be separated from everything that the ghetto bastard is usually inundated with, the chemical warfare, and the tribalism and the gang banging and the murders and everything that's going on in the hood. You get separated from that, and your mind is not inundated with all that garbage, and you start to develop and grow. And you got brothers that have been in the deen 10, 15, 20 years previous to you that's embracing you in that challenge and encouraging you to read, to get a firm understanding. So, Ikra. This one Rabbika Ladi Kala. You know what I'm saying? So we do these things and we mold one another and we stand in twos and singing it like Allah says in the Quran.
So prison solidified your Islam. Now take us on the journey that took you out of prison, basically.
The journey that took me out of prison was the Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, the Kun Fayakun, the being it is. Because that's an environment that you really not guaranteed. It's like anything else. You know, brothers getting killed on the yard with 4 or 5 years left to the house because of the politics and that racial profile and everything else that we do amongst ourselves and that harsh environment. You know, brothers was losing their life up in there. So that was by the grace and mercy of Allah that I was able to spend that amount of time on level 4 maximum security prison without being stabbed, without being hurt, and being able to return to my family with Deen al-Haq.
Shaka Jihad, I appreciate you sharing that story. Brother Kumasi.
Yes, sir.
How we doing today?
Alhamdulillah, everything well.
Thank you for being here, and I appreciate your presence. Now, tell us a little bit about your background story.
I'm from the city called Compton. Yeah, praise God. I represent Compton, man, because I got a college degree from San Diego State. A lot of people think that you're from Compton, you don't go to college. I myself, I just knew I was going to be dead before 18. Matter of fact, my uncle prepped me for that. I said, boy, you know you're going to be dead by the time you're 18 because of who my father is and my outlook on life. Everything I did was big. I was always ready to die. On the football field, in a fight, I was trying to kill you, you know. And so if you come at me, then you better be prepared to die, you know. So I did that until I realized that my family kept on having to come rescue me, pull me out of, you know, incarceration and otherwise. And that's what helped me to, you know, think about my family instead of thinking about myself. I got to college at San Diego State, still finding myself. You know, I was more so on the pro-black side, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was trying to find myself spiritually. I did go to church all the time. You know what I mean? I had a Gideon's Book Bible in my pocket. We had a little spot called Little Africa. I would bust rhymes over there, scriptures and otherwise. And my father taught me that in college, these people that's coming from overseas, they're gonna go back to their home, make alliances with them. You know, and so I started to learn different languages, making alliance with people. So now I can speak about 25 different languages, greetings and otherwise, from advice from my father. And so everybody knew me, everybody loved me, and I saw some Muslims on campus. I love Islam through what I saw in the Nation of Islam. As an African coming up in America who liked structure, who was a hard-hitting football player, a real strong-minded person, the Nation of Islam has something going on. But then I realized that, oh, they think that God is reincarnated in the form of man. I can't deal with that.
It's one little snafu.
Because that's the thing that I'm having a problem with Christianity with. So I got invited to the mosque at school. At this time, I had been studying Islam for over 6 years.
Now, were you practicing Christianity up until this point?
I was practicing Christianity, but trying to find myself, praying for truth. Like, God, I love Christianity, but I love truth more. So I laid in my bed one time and I asked God, just send me the truth. And that's what you gotta do, man. You gotta step towards God, and you have to ask for truth as opposed to what you love, because I love Christianity. Somebody came to me, wanted to fight. I said, man, I'm baptized. I was ready to let him have it, but at the same time, I represented God first, though. You understand me? And so then it's the same thing when I became Muslim. Anybody who wanted to get down, I said, man, what's happening? I feel Allah alone. What you want to do? What's happening? You understand? Bloods in San Diego looking at the Muslims at Dini's wrong. I said, man, what's happening, man? You looking at the Muslim sisters a little bit wrong, my brother.
Yeah,
These
that
Muslim
aggression.
sisters.
Yeah,
And, you know, man, we went into the bathroom. What's bracking blood? We throw it from the shoulders right now. I said, man, I feel Allah alone, man. What's happening? You understand me? And that's the truth, though. You know what I mean? So all praise due to God, man. What it is that from getting invited to the masjid, I called my man like, man, I'm about to go to the mosque, man. You better come rescue me, man. I might be Muslim tonight. And sure enough, I went to Masjid Noor and San Diego, by San Diego State. The brothers talked to me from night to the morning, and by the morning I took Shahada, alhamdulillah. But it was that attraction to the Nation of Islam that first attracted me. But when I found out that the Muslims, Orthodox Muslims, their prophet was Abraham, like the Christians' prophet was Abraham, and that they believe that Allah is a spirit and doesn't have the attributes of a man, I said, that's what I'm on. Also, lastly, I realized that Islam was accepting the Jews and Christians, and it wasn't a religion. I'm like, that's what I'm on. I'm not on this religion stuff. I'm on what the truth is, and Islam is haq.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
Appreciate that, Brother Kumasi.
Alhamdulillah, man. I'm thankful to be here, my brother.
Thankful for you to be here, man. Powerful stories from Shaka Jihad, taking the aggression of the streets, prison, pushing it into the religion. Brother Kumasi, man, just your effort and your drive from the sports, everything, the power, just putting that into the religion, man, and both of you, different journeys to Islam.
Most definitely, and I think that's the most beautiful part about it, because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi taught Imam Ali alayhi salam that light, Islam is a light that illuminates many more lights. And when I was sitting listening to the brother's story, one of the most impactful parts was the fact that I can really and truly appreciate a man that embraces Islam without having to go to prison.
Okay.
Me personally, I was so hard-headed, I had to go to prison. Allah know better. To even sit down long enough to hear the message. La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. Well, this brother coming up through the range, through the trials and tribulations in the different stages of society, and still able to embrace deen. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you.
Alhamdulillah, man. Coming from Shaka G, man. Alhamdulillah. Y'all know who this is, man. This is a legend I'm sitting next to, man.
Shaka Jihad,
Yes, sir.
Brother Kumasi. Definitely inspired by these stories, man. I pray that, inshallah, the people at home are inspired by your stories. Just the motivation behind how you came into the religion, how you didn't let it stop at, you know, the different upbringings that you had. You pushed through, and that's motivation for anybody. Right. So let me ask you, Shaka Jihad, how is hip hop and intertwined in your religious journey?
Well, I'm gonna start off by utilizing a piece that we've set and vibed to many times before, that I wrote a few years ago, and I was trying to give a summation of my demonstration and what's my intentions with this new African nation in America. And what I said is that my name is Shaka, and they used to call me Foots, but that's until I started reading them divine books. Take Shaka, he was a Zulu. I read the script and it reminded me of my crew. What I love is that he unified his whole tribe. Scared of no guns, he made them run and hide. When his army came, you can hear him coming, marching hard like they was bumping. And the reason why I wrote those in particular lines is because I came up in the street formation and what they call quote unquote gang banging, gangland, Long Beach. You know, I come up through all that, and I seen the natural tendencies in doing as such. It wasn't all bad like they were saying it was. So once I got off in Islam and I seen the ayats about brotherhood and being a firm metal wall and what kind of issues we were supposed to address as brothers, I said, hey, after I studied history, which is another divine command, I saw that young black men of every tribe globally have always sought to do that. But just because in America we didn't have the rites of passage, we don't have manhood training, we just got this wicked society trying to raise us up, it translated and turned over into gang banging.
Okay.
So hip hop was always the music of the inner city youth from my generation. You see what I'm saying?
A voice to put it
Most
out there.
definitely to put it out there. You got one of my favorite songs back in the day from Grandmaster Flash, that only the strong can survive. It's called Survival in Order to Stay Alive. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I got off into studying history and I found out about the science of the griot and what the responsibilities of the griot was to teach the people of his nation in an eloquent form, and once I realized the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that everything has an adornment, and the adornment of speech is eloquence. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that there's nobody better than one who invites towards Islam. Then the fact that I watched my mama come up talking all my life and I like to talk too, I combined all these factors together.
The power of words.
The power of words. Coming up under Malcolm and Muhammad Ali. And come on, man, in the 70s, I had to be able to say something.
Yeah.
And so this is how, I have brought all this together. You know what I mean? In my mind. In my mind, this is all a science. This is all a part of the divine decree that's going to be the voice that calls for the ignorant state of that Willie Lynch mentality to be done with, and for us to unify as a people and stand up and change the world, change the condition of ourselves so we can change the world. That's where I'm at with it, and I'm trying to use this hip hop to do it.
Alhamdulillah. Brother Kumasi.
Yes, sir. Yeah, see,
Hip-hop
we
and
do
Islam.
this music, man. Some people rap and do music because they like to hear themselves, you know. Man, we do this thing because we understand that Allah provided a platform to get to the people.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil
You know what I
Alameen.
mean? And so when you got a little bit of wisdom that Allah provides for you, and you take it from there and try to get it to the people, now we have a situation here. We have a situation. Parents, go ahead and support this good music, because what's happening is it's out there, but popular culture is gravitating to that which looks successfully popular with money and nice rims and otherwise, jewelry. And so with that being expressed in our popular culture, man, we having our Muslim students as well go towards that way all over the world. They also trying to gang bang where we come from.
Yeah,
man, we friends with gang bang, man. We Muslim, man.
Right. Alhamdulillah,
You know
Rabbil
what I mean?
Alameen.
And so the toughest thing we can do is represent our Lord and get to the paradise by Allah's grace. You
Alhamdulillah,
understand me?
Rabbil
And so
Alameen.
alhamdulillah,
Yes,
it's a great thing that the brother and I, we here, we exist, and it's not just us. We all over the planet,
Right.
and we strong.
Right.
We might not have the finances to create big movements, but together we are a big movement.
It's a movement nonetheless.
Yes, sir.
It's a movement nonetheless.
You know,
Yes, sir.
so with that, that's a spiel to ask for your support. You have to seek us out. You have to support us. You have to spread the word about us, because we're not getting paid. We're not getting paid, and we don't do it to get
And
paid.
it's time to get paid.
But you're getting paid in a different way, though.
Man, we getting spiritual dollars. We getting spiritual dollars, and so, but it's for your.
That far surpasses everything else.
It's for your children, though. It's for your youth. And if you complain that, oh, my children, he's smoking weed. Oh, my child, he's following people in school. You have to invite him to the people that's speaking to him. Because we not no chumps, man. Compton, Long Beach, man, everybody respect us, and we respect everybody. And when we say go.
That's what you said. Compton and Long Beach together. Now you know you're in trouble.
Right.
You know?
Now you know you got peace. But
Yeah.
the cold thing about it is we evolving this. A lot of dudes get on the mic and say they're going to kill the track.
Yeah.
No, we're going to bring life to the track.
Exactly.
And we're going to bring peace to the ghetto bastards who think in so much turmoil. You see what I'm saying? And it's just a shame that we have had to go through not only the exploitation, manipulation, and rape of our motherland, but also the culture, the science of the griotism was known as rap in this country has also been raped and exploited and marketed to manipulate the blood, sweat, and tears of our people and make our suffering cool. You see what I'm saying? And that ain't what time it is. They can't, no more, we ain't going out like that.
Muslim hip-hop artists, or more specifically, Muslim rappers. Is there a contradiction in the two statements? Can the two statements be true?
There's only a contradiction in that statement if one has no knowledge. about what they talking about. Like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if one have no knowledge on the situation, don't even speak on it.
Okay.
And see, what we have failed to do, like I said, Islam is not, I mean, hip hop is not a product of East Coast or the West Coast of these northern woods. This is an ancient science, it's a hereditary science that was given to a chosen few people from every tribe in the motherland to represent their people from a lyrical standpoint, teaching the lessons and calling the men folk to enjoin and right, forbid the wrong. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had his own griot. The drum has always been the communication of the griot. So when you take these elements over here, you take these, the fact that we've always communicated through the drum, you take the energy of the drum, and then you put all these negroistic, Woody Lynch, bipolar, slave disorder, exploitative lyrics on top of it, then you put the drugs and the alcohol and the poverty-stricken conditions, yeah, you got a whole lot of drama finna happen. But when you filter it out through the ayats of Islam and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and telling your story, you have what I call Shaka's testimony. And none of this is phony.
So Brother Kumasi, I asked you, can hip hop be used in a positive way in Islam? What do you think?
I think it's being used in a positive way. And the people who listen to us, they're memorizing Quran. I have 99 names of Allah. People have been able to memorize that from a song. And, you know, then there's people who judge because it's declared music. But Allah is my judge. And so I handle my business the way I know how. People are listening to music, they're not listening to poetry. And through those drums, you know, not per se all these forbidden instruments, but through these beats, you deliver music that's worldwide, and you get people to memorize hadith, Quran, influential sayings, because the difference between a believer and a non-believer also consists of a believer being able to have slogans to survive on, that God won't put on you more than you can bear, that, you know, you're not a believer until you want for your brother what you want for yourself. Right. And so when it's going down and it's time for you to be a believer, because even the one who's not a believer is tested in this life and the next. Right. So it's for us to have these slogans. And if you just come off of a song that taught you a slogan, for example, you being tested and you had a slogan from a song, God is with the patient. As long as you're being patient, you know God is with you. Then that slogan while you're riding throughout your day or somebody cuts you off on the road, let me be patient. And so anyway, we deliver those messages through songs. However, through a day, if you're not driving to that and you're driving to something else that's not conscious, then you have a different type of theme in your head. Right. So that's the reason why we bring benefit through people from listening to this music and having these Islamic and spiritual sayings in it.
Okay, okay. Infusing it with Quran, with hadith.
Definitely. That has to be the guide, that has to be the inspiration, that has to be the motivation for whatever we do. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, whatever you do started with the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim so that become complete. And because I do realize that our audience, see, the world right now has been psychologically conditioned by the TV and the news media and music and everything else. So if we don't take a stance to utilize these things to make them submit fisabilillah, to make the beat submit to Islam, to make the flute, the music, the spoken word, whatever you have to benefit Islam, then we're not doing our job. Because see, the majority of the world looks at the black man the way they look at the black man because of the negative images that's put on this TV. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip the script. We're gonna show you this powerful Islam in a position of peace.
So I'm sitting in front of two talented hip hop artists, Muslim rappers. We've been talking about it the whole time. So can we get a little sample so we ourselves can see if it's true or not? Starting off with you, Brother Kumasi.
Man, give me a topic, man. Tell me what to talk about so I can create it right now for you, my
Okay. Let's talk about the Sunnah.
Yeah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I had a dream about the Prophet Ibrahim. Alayhi salatu wassalam. I was reading my Quran, flipped to the Psalms. They said, man, this is true Islam. Pray to the one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kul huwallahu ahad. Oh, wow. That's when I realized that the Quran is rhyming now. So I'll do the same thing that I seen in my dream, delivered this to the people. All good, no evil. Number 1, number 2, the sequel. Yeah, este por mi gente, la raza, mi people. Praise be to God.
Praise be to Allah, Bismillah. All right, you know who next? Shaka Jihad. Let's get some.
I said, it's a new era, the last epoch. The galaxy is changing because we praying on the block. Soldier reunion, we formulate rank. It ain't what you got, it's how you think. So we cleaning up our backyard and tighten weak links. Taking posts on the city like the great Sphinx. Ancient Commission teachings, you should know yourself. Wisdom, patience, moderation, that's where you get your wealth. They just ain't plotting on the black man, but anything with color that don't need a tan. The splendorous sun is even on our side. Melanin protecting us from a burning hide. Better check it out. Situation number 9, esoteric hermeneutics. You better know the signs. It's something big happening at this very moment. The time is now, and you can't prolong it. Jesus walks. Muhammad taught that the battle with the self is the greatest struggle fought. So I'm fighting. Even when I'm writing, Allah give me the strength to channel my lightning.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Oh, man. Powerful, powerful things are happening, or have happened on this show. I would like to thank my guest, Shaka Jihad. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I love you for the sake of Allah, brother Kumasi. I appreciate your presence, man. Both of your presence, man.
Praise belongs to Allah.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that we are shepherds. So we are all responsible for our own followings and how we lead those people. So I'm sitting in front of hip-hop artists right now. But whatever we do, we have to use the skills that we were blessed with in order to gain admittance into paradise. And so that's what these brothers are doing, and that's what I hope that you're doing at home. I'm Noah Seifullah. This is Journey to Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.